is it possible to utilize a reasonably close volatility cloud using the most relevant settings to ensure I have a statistically sound stop loss plan? In most of the trades that we've been kind of discussing, that has been our goal, right? Here's meta, right? And so I'm just going to make this up, but as though I haven't been making everything up, right? Here, if I had, let's just say, if I had this as my plan, that's kind of what it's saying is can I use some sort of cloud to make it make sense? And so again, I wouldn't suggest normally using the 24-minute cloud, although this one's held up a bit. You can see it's deviated a bit. If I did this same thing here, I'd be lucky to stay in my trade. But as you get to larger time frames that make more sense, if you have overextension and you have a bunch of different things working for you, then the cool thing about it is you can use a cloud on a larger time frame to look for your retrace. And so again, I don't really wait for something like this to happen, but if I happen to catch price action close to that cloud, then that to me is a place that I would say, oh man, I happen to wake up and I see, because I have scanners and I'm scanning 32 alts or whatever it might be, maybe I'm scanning some stocks, I see that price action is just really close to that volatility cloud. I wonder if I could do this. Does this asymmetry make sense? Do I think it's going to revert back to 414? Could it? Absolutely. Look at that crazy gap because of that day that the gains were reported. And I could use, again, volatility clouds from different time frames, but this is the 2 hour, so this is probably a poor example. It just happens to be the first one that's actually the largest one to show a bearish volatility cloud. Your better ones would definitely be your 4 hour for swing trading, your 1 day, your 2 day, your 3 day. Those would probably be some nice ones to attempt to catch reversals. And if they happen to coincide with pressure lines like that, and you believe it's going to go to the bottom of the channel, and you have some logic to support your thesis, then sometimes these are really nice, right? Because you're literally looking for that entry there. You're looking to have some protection there, not just the purple line, but maybe you're using that price action over here as another added backstop, right? The swing high, which a lot of traders do. And so you're like, am I willing to risk 3%? Maybe this is just, kind of like one-to-one organic shorting of whatever asset this is. Pretend it's not meta. You could ask yourself, do I just want to trade like 1x leverage of perpetual contract where I lose 3% and maybe I gain 20% if this is successful? Yes, I want to do it. Okay, I have 3 parts logic, right? In this case, I have the logic of the volatility cloud. I have the logic of this gone line. I have the logic of the last swing high, which also happens to have proven that this line was effective, right? Because this happened, that line and all these lines were plotted way back here on about the 29th, and they've never really changed. And so eventually price action got there, and this particular line was proven to be a nice resistance. But it doesn't always happen that way, right? Because this line was skipped, this line was skipped. So you can't really depend on any one thing to happen as a for sure. And I hope everybody that's watching this realizes that. I'm sure you guys do, but I always like to put that out. So who knows how many people will ultimately watch this. Okay, so that covers entry plan. Have I considered the volatility risks? That's what the clouds are for. How much volatility can this asset have in this specific 2 hour candle, right? That's what we were just looking at on Meta. It could literally, in this 2 hour candle, in this exact 2 hour candle, which has 45 minutes left, it could be right now at 456 and suddenly spike to as high as 474 and still be within tolerance of expectation, statistical expectation. How much could price action swing in the span of a day, a full day, right? In this case, we only have an hour and 15 minutes left in this day, but in this day, price action could come as low as $402 and still be in an uptrend and essentially just kind of like be, you know, reverting to some degree of mean, right? Regardless of how you want to look at it, and still be in a technical uptrend and still probably even have a movement monitor that's still, you know, flat or facing upward and still easily be in an overall bullish channel. Right? There's just a moment of radical statistical deviation because of, in this case, a news-inspired event that took it way outside the channel. But things usually revert, right? And so there's a good chance we see Meta in the 3s or at least the low 4s. Now, would I short it? I'm just the kind of person that would want to look for some blue on blue, and we talked about that in a different video. I'd want to find some blue on blue in the 12-minute, the 24-minute, the hour, I don't know, certain time frames. And even if I caught it here and I didn't catch it at the very top, I'm okay. I'd like to, you know, kind of catch it there. I'd rather ride the pressure of a confirmed energy as opposed to just kind of taking a wild shot in the dark and then being wrong. But again, as long as you have asymmetry, that is a powerful ally. So, have I considered the volatility risks? We've kind of covered that. And lastly, do I have sound asymmetry, right? That is where that risk-reward ratio comes in. How much do I stand to lose? Am I okay with that, truly? Do I want to magnify that? How much do I stand to gain, right? Is that realistic? All those types of questions. Where is your standard for your risk-reward ratio? Do you understand it? And just make sure that you do. So I think that covers list 2. So I appreciate you guys watching, and then we will start a new video with list 3.